Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new episode. Aha, you thought I was going to say review. This is not going to be a review, and this is not going to be a top 10 list. This is an episode that subscriber Ramsey has reached out and requested, and that is my list of next purchases. So this is going to be the list of fragrances here for Santa Claus that are going to be my next purchases. Now, before I dive in on the ground rules for the episode, I want to quickly say two things. Number one, I want to say how genuinely touched I was by fellow reviewer Daniel Sun, ! He actually last week did a review on this channel, and I really appreciated that. I was so touched by that. And he has been watching a lot of my episodes. He said that this channel and I was one of his top 3 current favorite reviewers, and I am genuinely appreciative of that. Thank you so much, Daniel Sun. I really appreciate that. I will make sure that I put his channel in the description, and I will also put the link to that episode so you can check it out. It was actually it was really fun to see somebody reviewing my channel. So that was a lot of fun, and I really appreciated that. I like that he said that I really enjoy what I do. As I told him, at the risk of repeating, but as I told him earlier this year, I went through a soul-searching period in which I thought about throwing in the towel. But you know what? I just absolutely adore this channel, these reviews, and talking to you, and I really enjoy what I do. So thanks again. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you to do that. So check out his channel. Great guy. Also does reviews, as I said, and he also looks like he does designer's niche. He's all over the map, just like I am. So lots of fun there. The second thing I would like to say is, and partly because of him, I have had an absolute explosion since last Friday of new subscribers, and I really appreciate that. As always, make sure you check out my channel here. And then also, very quickly, I will just say that this channel is fiercely independent, entirely unbiased, and I am, like you, I am on a shoestring budget. And so I have to really make sure that I enjoy a fragrance before I purchase it. So that's why I like to be real nitpicky about my reviews. There's no infomercial feel here at TCG. Okay, so speaking of which, though, speaking of being rather frugal and spendthrift, I will say that this list here is... two things. Number one is you're going to see all the ones that I'm looking at and considering purchasing. And then the second thing is you're going to see, probably unknowingly, a secondary goal of this is you're going to see my 3-tiered system that I do to ensure that I have zero buyer's remorse. I wait way too long before I buy a fragrance, but I have to do it that way, especially with the prices these days. So here's what I'm going to do. For my list, here are the ground rules, okay? Number one, don't forget that subscriber Ramsey reached out. He requested this episode. He wanted it to be a list of next purchases for full bottles. So some fragrances are not going to be on here that you think might if you follow my channel, and that's simply because I would look for a sample next before I got a full 100 ml 3.3 or 3.4, depending on the company, ounce bottle. So that's why this list might be a little bit different than you think. So these are ones that I'm actively searching right now to get full bottles for. And then also the second thing would be these are first-time fragrances, meaning I'm not going to include any fragrances right now for which I'm actively looking for a backup or a second or third or 15th bottle. One example would be Vera Wang from Men. I really like that one. It's a cheapie, and if I saw it at TJ Maxx for a rock bottom price, I would grab it. It's not going to show up on this list. So these are fragrances for which I have previously not bought a bottle. All right, so I have a whopping 27 fragrances that I'm about to purchase. theoretically, extremely, very theoretically speaking, actually. And I have a we'll call it 3 levels to this. Number 1, I guess, would be my 2 honorable mentions, of course. But then after that is I have level 1, which would be fragrances that you or people on Fragrantica have reached out to me and said, based on what you're saying, you absolutely need to try this fragrance. So right now, I wouldn't say I'm close to buying one, but I'm actively researching the notes. I'm making sure that there would not be a superfluous purchase based on my current collection. And I'm looking at price range, trying to find the right deal, and I'm extremely curious about these fragrances. Then level 2 would be fragrances that just I on my own, either before I started this channel or just no one has mentioned them, but I personally am attracted to. I've tried them, I've sampled them. I'm very curious, and I'm ready to move forward, and I'm looking for the right price range for these fragrances. And then the last one, level 3, would be the last 5 of the list would be simply, I'm ready to, if I find these pretty much online or in a brick and mortar store, then I will purchase them and move forward. So there you have it. Let's start off with the honorable mentions, shall we? And let me just quickly say, you're a frag head when you have to whittle it down to 27 fragrances that you're about to buy. Only you would understand that. I know that you feel my pain here when I say that Santa Claus, I hope you're listening. Okay, so with regard to my honorable mentions, I have 2. The first one is discontinued, and that's why I would have to absolutely find it at the right price. Otherwise, I don't know if I would get it. Currently, it seems to be over $200 on eBay, so I don't think it's going to happen. But if I saw it at the right price, I would get it, and that is Dune by Christian Dior. That, as Ramsey and I and others have noted, has a wonderful, a sublime fig note. Really flew under the radar for this house, and I love that release. The second one is another one that many on Fragrantica have reached out and said, based on what you're saying, you really need to consider this one. I'd like to know a little bit more about it, though, before I move on, but it has to be an honorable mention because I do admit I'm looking at the notes, I'm really considering it, and if you guys have smelled it, you could help me. And that is Fouger Royale by Ubigan. And as always, I will have the name of the fragrance and the name of the house, just in case I'm not pronouncing them correctly. And I will also put in the bottle as well, so you see the picture. Okay, so the next one I'm going to go on to, so I have a list of 25. The first category here, the first level, is going to be 25 to 16, because that is 10 fragrances, of course. Now, within 25 to 16, there's no ranking, meaning, I'm not closer to buy 16 than I am 25. I just wrote these down. The main thing is these are 10 fragrances that you guys have reached out and said I should get, and or people on Fragrantica. So I'm currently researching them, I'm looking into them, and as I said, you're getting a window into my 3-level, 3-tiered research system to ensure that I have no buyer's remorse when I purchase a fragrance. Probably more information that you wanted to know. You see what you get? This is the VIP experience that I give you at TCG. Okay, so again, these are 10 fragrances that you guys have said should be a must for me. I really should try, or folks on Fragrantica in the discussion thread. So 25 is Le Boisé by Guerlain. This one came up because I was looking for a replacement for Armani Code Sport Athlete. Be careful, because it's not Code Sport, it's Code Sport Athlete with the Mojito vibe. And so many people reached out and said that I definitely need to get my hands on Le Boisé by Guerlain. This 24 would be another one that has been probably recommended to me so many times I should just go out and blind buy it. It is Bel Ami by Hermès. Many people, again, have said, based on what I said, you really should go out and get a bottle. I would love to get a sample. In fact, now that I think about it, Hermès gives out free samples. If I remember correctly, the first time I requested, they were out of a lot of these. So maybe I'll try again, because I would love a sample of that one. And Hermès they are really good about sending you free samples. 23 is also by Hermès, and it's Rocabar. We have talked about that many a time, my friends. And so that one is definitely creeping up the list. I'm extremely curious, and I would love to get a sample of that as well. Now, on 22, some of these, remember on my top 10 lists where I have a bonus feature, and at the end I talk about, future considerations based on what a lot of people were saying, on their top 10 lists? one of the ones I found on many top 10 lists for the summer, I think it was, but it was also for spring, and it was just my top 10 all-time favorite, blah, 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 was Sel Marine, or it's Marin, and it's Selmarin. You can see it below, by James Healy. Many people have reached out and said that is exquisite. The only real complaint seems to me it's a little too pricey, but I would like to get a sample of that. And again, in the future, I would highly consider getting a full bottle of it. I'm very curious because of all the outpouring of support that fragrance has received. 21 needs to be, is one that's got to be on this list, right? Which is Shaggy by Sej Lutans. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Lutens. But Shaggy comes up a lot for top 10 fragrances on people's lists. And again, there is a lot of shout outs. There's a lot of hype for this niche fragrance. So I don't know if I would blind buy it, but I definitely would like to get my hands on a full bottle at some point based on what people are saying. Number 20 is Red Tobacco by Mancera. This one also came up for my top 10 tobacco fragrance list. And a lot of people, again, said that they would highly recommend Red Tobacco by Mancera. Number 19 is, if I remember right, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, number 19, many people, but especially Ramsey, have recommended Héritage by Guerlain. Looks like Heritage. And if I remember correctly, he said specifically with the gold cap, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ramsey. Either way, though, I would really like to try Héritage or Heritage by Guerlain. Number 18 is another subscriber reach out who said, if you want a people pleaser, a compliment getter, this is purely a designer fragrance, but it's the type that will garner unsolicited compliments, and that is Versace Pour Homme Dylan Blue. So that is another one on my list, probably more for the summer. But now that I don't have Blue by Bulgari anymore, I'm looking for another similar type fragrance, and this seems to fit the bill. Versace Pour Homme Dylan Blue by Versace. Number 17, of course, I put... No list is going to make it without Bakara Rouge 540 by MFK. That said, really it would be any of the fragrances by MFK for which I have done reviews, because like Oud, Aqua Celestia Fortis, I really, really loved those fragrances, and that house is climbing up my chart of favorite houses. So I put Bakara Rouge 540. In all sincerity, it could be Oud, it could be Aqua Celestia Fortis. Absolutely enjoyed those 3 to 4 weeks that I worked on that house. So much fun. And then 16, last but not least, we got to get the black leather jacket out, and we have to get Black Afgano by Nasomato. If we're going to go niche, we have to include that one, the originality factor, the bad boy factor. It's got to be on that list to offset some of the crowd pleasers, right? So that is 25 to 16. Those are 10 fragrances that you guys and people in Fragrantica have mentioned. Now, the next 10 are going to be fragrances that I have been looking at for a long time, or maybe they're brand new releases. I'm very close to purchasing, and I must say, even if I saw the right price, I'd probably grab them now. But I'm still in the phase of looking at the notes, making sure that longevity and sillage and projection are good enough for me, because that's a big sticking point for me. I do want a work shift out of my fragrances, and I'm not going to spend $100 and up for something that's going to last an hour and a half. I'm just not going to do that. So these are 10 fragrances that I've been looking at quite a bit, and I'm very, very, very close. I would love to hear your comments on these fragrances. Number 15 is Pasha Edition Noir Sport by Cartier. This is, of course, Pasha. You guys know Pasha. If you look down at the bottle, it is shaped as a pencil, and that's why it has the little lead on top point. And I really like that concept. I think it's neat about Pasha and all of its flankers. I like Pasha. I really like it a lot. If I saw it and I didn't see the one I'm looking for, I would get Pasha. I would get the original. That said, just looking at the notes and the reviews and the projection of longevity, it looks like Edition Noir Sport might be more up my alley, especially because I tend to be a little lukewarm on the sport releases. But everyone said don't worry about the spa name on it. This is a fantastic fragrance. Number 14 is one I've mentioned before from my romantic night out, and that must be CH Men Prive by Carolina Herrera. I love, this is another fragrance I must admit, I don't see how anyone could dislike it. They might say, you know, it's a bit generic, it's just another release, blah, blah, blah. It's just there to get compliments and make money. It's not very inspired. I disagree, obviously. I think it smells just utterly amazing. I think it's an exquisite fragrance. I think it would definitely garner a lot of unsolicited compliments, and comments. And I would love to hear if you have that fragrance, what you think of it. And if you do dislike it, let us know. How's that? Number 13 is one that I'll cue up. Well, it's time. It is time, folks, to cue the boo, because I may get booed on this one. Say what you want. I like 1 million Prive. Hold on. No. Yep, you're doing the dishes. Turn off the water. I'll wait. Yep, dry your hands. Okay, so I didn't say 1 million. I said 1 million Prive. You're looking at me like, dude, you're not the target audience for 1 million. Totally gotcha. If you haven't smelled 1 million Prive, please do, because by Paco Rabanne, of course, it's the gold bar. It is. I find that fragrance addicting. I find it exquisite. I love it. And yes, I don't care for 1 million. I don't have it. I don't want to have it. It's not my thing. But 1 million Prive is more refined, more mature, and it takes out the kind of that strawberry blast is toned down in that one. I just love everything about that fragrance, and that is something I will definitely be getting at some point. Number 12 is kind of my original, unique hipster pick. Because of the cactus note, actually, in I would have said red pepper, but it said pimento. It smells like red peppers, like spicy hot, like habaneros or something. And this is Jarius Rouge by Givenchy. I don't know that I can explain why I love it so much. When I was making this list, I can just tell you this. It's been on my to-want list for many years, actually, and that says something, and it's high time. Every time I go and smell that, I think, why don't I have this bottle? And that is Jarius Rouge by Givenchy. Definitely on the list, probably the most unique, original, hipster fragrance, possibly. Black Afghano Nasomato would probably be that one, but you get my point. Not too many fragrances have cactus as one of the notes. Okay, so here's 11. Now, you guys know that I am a huge fan of Acqua di Gio, the original one. Again, shaking your head, you know that it smells fantastic, and I have an update on the quiz. Remember how I asked you guys to my little test? I said, I dare you to say Acqua di Gio without smiling, and not one of you, see over here, and I watched all of you do it, and every single one of you failed. You can't do it. It can't be done. You don't have to like it. You can say it's ex-husband. You can say it's frat boy. Acqua di Gio pour homme rules. I love it. So, and you do too secretly. So, all jokes aside, I really like Essenza even more. Acqua di Gio Essenza is slightly more mature, and it lasts longer in its current formulation. That said, here's the thing about Profumo. Acqua di Gio Profumo, to me, it's got an incense note right by, and then it's got aquatic notes. I just find that, so what we're supposed to be like, we're supposed to be meditating in the lotus position right next to the Atlantic Ocean. I don't really get it's quirky. I find it odd. Incense and aquatic notes in the same fragrance. For me personally, here's what I would say. Armani should have made that a separate release. I don't think it's Acqua di Gio. As an Acqua di Gio fanboy, I have officially ousted it from the community. I wish they would change the name. That's just me. I don't see it as a real Acqua di Gio flanker. And you're about ready to unsubscribe from my channel. Anyway, that's my opinion. I don't mind it. I just wish it had a different name. Call it like Encens Océan or something, right? It's called like Incense by the Ocean or something. It's quirky and it's odd. That said, last year in 2020, they released Profondo by Acqua di Gio, of course, another flanker, and those notes look to be much more in line with what I'm looking for from an Acqua di Gio flanker. It doesn't seem like they're just trying to go to the well one too many times. Perhaps they are, though, but I am all ears, and I am highly intrigued by this release, much more than I was with Profumo. And feel free to put any, if you disagree with me, let me know. Number 10 is another one that's been on my list a long time. I smelled this at the airport in Austria, in Vienna, and it's another one that it's dangerously close to potpourri, so some people don't like it because it smells like that. I like the fragrance, and that is Boss Bottled Oud by Hugo Boss. Boss Bottled Oud. I find the apple is toned down enough that it's not so potpourri-ish for me personally, and I love the mixture of Boss Bottled along with a clean oud. Really like the fragrance. It's another one to me that flew under the radar for a lot of people. I smelled it, and look, the proof is in the pudding. I smelled that many years ago in Vienna at the airport, and it was about 4 a.m. actually. In fact, I had to sleep on a couch, sitting there because I got in late and my flight was the next day. So I actually just slept in the airport. And I went to imagine that, I went to the perfume section and smelled perfumes for about, 3 hours. But think about that. I still remember the fragrance to this day just from that one sample and that one time I wore it on my skin. That really says a lot. So I tip my cap to Hugo Boss. Number 9 is another oud, and that is Supreme Oud by Ralph Lauren. I never know if I'm supposed to say Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren. I feel like I'm just cooler and more of a hipster if I say Lauren, but so you can tell me what you say. This is Supreme Oud. It is, to my knowledge, it has been discontinued. Supreme Cashmere also looks divine, but I love Supreme Oud. The mixture with the oud and the guaiac wood is just too good to be true. So that's another one that if I can find it easily, I will grab it quite soon. Number 8 is the One Parfum, and I've mentioned that the One is another one that I went up and actually asked a guy what he was wearing. I can count how many times on one hand I've done that, and it didn't go over too well, but that's okay because it was worth it. I really liked the One. It lives up to the hype. The longevity, of course, as you have noted too, is not there, so that's why I would choose the One Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana. Number 7 is Jubilation 25 by Amouage. There has to be an Amouage on here. There aren't going to be too many niches because I don't have a lot of money, but Jubilation 25 is one of the few fragrances that has garnered the coveted, exclusive 6 out of 5 sprays in my rating system, because you guys know I give a 6th bonus spray to an inner circle, an inner core of fragrances that truly transcend time, space, and karmic energy. All right, so I went over. That's a little over the top, but you get my point. And number 6 is another one that's been on my list a very long time, and that is Mediterranean Neroli. I love the note Neroli, one of my favorites, and so any fragrance based on Neroli is going to pique my interest, and the notes here sound divine, and that is Mediterranean Neroli by Hermenegildo Senya, and I dare you to say the name of that house 5 times in a row. Okay, so now we are down to the final 5. Remember, at the first level, you guys and Fragrantic people reached out, said you need to try. This last 10, so 15 to 6, were 10 fragrances that I just myself know I'm going to eventually get a full bottle of. I'm researching them. I'm actively checking them out. I'm probably going to buy quite soon. And then these next 5, I'm ready to buy right now. It's just a matter of finding them. So if you guys can know where I can get them at the right price, and quite frankly, even if I have to pay when it's not the right price, I will consider them because I'm ready to purchase right now. So and again, don't forget, like, Number 1 doesn't mean I'm closer to purchasing than 5. It just means these are 5 that I'm actively checking each day now to see if I can find a deal or find them at all, depending. Number 5 is Costume National Parfum. You guys know this is a 2020 or might even be a 21 release, but it has not been released in the U.S., and it's my understanding that it's not going to be released at all in the U.S., which is kind of odd. I don't know if that's true, but I have not been able to find it, and it doesn't look like it's coming here anytime soon. So that is Costume National Parfum. You guys know I love Costume National Parfum. It's probably in my top 10 all time, but it's definitely my current top 10 favorites in my collection or of the fragrances that I have reviewed. Love Costume National, and so Costume National Parfum I would love to have in my collection, ready to purchase now. Number 4 is, so here is my my scent of the day, and that is another one that, this is another fragrance like Jubilation 25 that can really, if you're having a bad day and you put this on, just smelling it, it can alter the course of your day. You know, I'm in a philosophical mood today. Who knew? So this is my scent of the day, and because I love you guys so much, I will give you a spray. Look, come on. I mean, come on. I mean, that smells exquisite. How can you be an Eeyore when you're wearing this? Okay? You can't. Even Eeyore himself would love this fragrance. All right? So this is Eau Sauvage 2017, but this is without the frankincense. So the 2012 bottle is much darker juice. It's dark green, and then the bottle also is darker. And then if I'm not mistaken, the glass, I think the waves, the lines here are even more embossed in the bottle, I think, but don't quote me on that part. Darker bottle, dark green juice, has frankincense, and that's 2012. This one, they took the frankincense out. I still love this one. I just love 2012 just a little bit more. Oh, if I could find a bottle of that juice. Okay, so for number 3, I have a choice that is going to sound perhaps a little odd. So let me give you a background, some background information on this. I am a huge tennis fan. I love tennis. I love watching tennis. I love playing tennis. I'm not that great, but I love watching tennis. My favorite player must be, of course, Novak Djokovic, and I really enjoy watching tennis. So there is a release by Lacoste that is based on tennis, and the bottle, actually, the cap is a tennis racket feel. And then of course the bottle there's green juice, and it's supposed to evoke this notion of being out on the tennis court, and it is called Match Point. Do you see there? By Lacoste. So I am not necessarily the target audience normally for a fragrance like that, but I do want to buy that because I want to review it and I want to talk about it, especially amongst those in the tennis community as well. And that's number 3. It's probably going to be a cheapie. I hope it is, at least. And that is Match Point by Lacoste, and I think that was released last year. Number 2 is, in fact, cue the boo. Get ready. We're going to boo me again. And so I'll just go ahead and put in a few of them, actually. Yes, it's going to happen. No. Get your finger off the unsubscribe button. It's not Axe, though. It could be close for some people. It's not Axe. Hand off. No, finger off the unsubscribe. Okay, you ready? Okay, I'm going to openly declare right now. I'm just going to tell you right now. I love Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. I know you don't. I love that juice. So when I went out to the Bay Area, remember when I did all those reviews on the samples? I also went to that store, and you walk into the store, they put it through the vents, you know that. It smells divine. Come on. That is a great fragrance. The bottle with the 6-pack and stuff, and they've changed it over the years. It's kind of odd, right? But the actual fragrance itself, it's not a midlife crisis, I swear to you. I just really, really like that fragrance. I am going to get it. I will be reviewing it. Try to show me some love if you can. If not, at least don't unsubscribe because I love Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. I really do. It's a fantastic fragrance, and I will be getting a mammoth bottle of that. It's high time, isn't it? It's high time. And then number 1 is one I should have gotten a long time ago. I sent out a thread on Fragrantica about cinnamon notes years ago because I love cinnamon, and pretty much everyone reached out. This is even before Costume National, and said, you need to get Jaipur by Boucheron. So it is high time. The only thing I need to do now is double check whether I want the EDT or the EDP. If you could help me on that, that'd be great. That said, I will be getting Jaipur from Boucheron very, very soon. I saw it even less than $40, so that's right up my alley, and it's something I should have gotten a long time ago. All right, so there you have it. There is my mammoth list of my next purchases. And as the topic was suggested, of course, by subscriber Ramsey. Ramsey, thank you so much. I've had so much fun doing this. Little did we know this was also going to parlay into knowing about my purchasing approach / Christmas list for Santa Claus. So that said, I hope you appreciated it. Please let me know what you think of any of these fragrances, like, dislike. I would love to hear from you. Also, let me know in comments, what are your next purchases? Could be 1, could be 2, could be 27 like I have here. Please let me know which ones you are considering, and I would love to hear from you. The second thing would be, please let me know if you would like me to pursue any comments, topics, themes, top 10 lists, anything you'd like me to do with regard to fragrance in the upcoming weeks. I have noted your ideas so far, and I will be working on them in the next month, and I'd love to hear more ideas from you. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate all the support, and always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Oh, what the hell. Boom. Peace out, YouTube.